Hello children, welcome to the YouTube channel of Welkin National School, Vasai East. This is Mrs. Mamata Biju, your subject teacher of SST. Today I will be teaching for standard 7th, that is Geography, chapter number 8, How Seasons Occur, part 2. You must have noticed the longest day, the shortest day, and the days with the same duration of the day and night time with the help of the observation in the month of June, September and December. Generally, these dates are the same every year. With the help of the shadow experiment, you must have noted the change in the position of sunrise. Let us study the changes in the position of sunrise and the differences in the duration of day and night. Now, in this paragraph, they have explained that now you must be knowing when it is the longest day and when it is the shortest day, and when is the same duration of the day and night. You must have experienced all this in June, September and December. Now you must have also noticed about the changes in the position of sunrise. Apparent movement of the sun. You must have realized through your observation that the position of the sun at sunrise appears to change on the horizon every day. Its position appears to move towards the north or south in the course of a year. However, in reality, the sun does not move anywhere. That is why the movement of the sun towards the north or south in a year is called the apparent movement of the sun. The position of the rising sun keeps on moving towards the south in the period from 21st June to 22nd December. This period is called Dakshinayan. From 22nd December to 21st June, the sun keeps on moving towards the north. This period is called Uttarayan. The revolution of the earth around the sun and the tilted axis of the earth are the two factors responsible for the apparent movement of the sun. Seasons occur only with reference to the northern and the southern hemisphere. Now, in this paragraph, they have explained that the position of the sunrise appears to change on the horizon every day, and the position move towards north or south. Now, in a year, but as we know, the sun does not move everywhere. We feel that it's moving. The movement of the sun towards the north or south in a year, and that is called apparent movement of the sun. The sun position keeps moving towards the south. It moves towards from 21st June to 22nd December, and this period is said to be Dakshinayan. And from 22nd December to 21st June, the sun moves towards the north. So it is said to be Uttarayan. Observe figure 8.1 carefully and answer. Now they have given this figure. See, this is the sun. Okay, this is the autonominal equinox, that is, it happens on 23rd September. Okay, this is the winter solstice. This is on 22nd December. This is the spring equinox. Spring equinox, that is happens on 21st March. This is summer solstice, that is on 21st June. So this is the whole cycle how it occurs. That is called the cycle of the season, equinox and solstice. perihelion and aphelion position of the earth. The path of the revolution of the earth around the sun is elliptical. The sun is at one of the two centers of the ellipse. The sun does not change its position as the earth moves in an ellipse. Its distance from the sun does not remain the same. It is at its minimum distance in the first week of January. This is called the perihelion position of the earth. In this position, the southern end of the axis is towards the sun. As against this, in the first week of the July, the earth is at the farthest point from the sun. This is called the aphelion position. In this position, the northern end of the axis is towards the sun with the help of figure 8.1. As I showed you the cycle of the season, that is figure 8.1. Now they have given this figure aphelion and perihelion position. Now this is the earth's elliptical orbit. This is the southern hemisphere summer part. This is the perihelion and this is the sun. Okay. This is the Uttarayan, that is from July, as we have read in the earlier paragraph, in the apparent movement of the sun. This is northern hemisphere summer. This is the cycle. This is the Dakshinayan, that is January, northern hemisphere winter. Okay. Which shows the position of the earth in relation to the sun. You can guess which season prevails in which hemisphere. Seasons occur due to the revolution of the earth as well as due to the tilt of its axis of the rotation. Now over here they have given the explanation in this paragraph that the path of the revolution of the earth around the sun is elliptical. Now as the sun does not change its position and when the earth moves in an ellipse, the space between the sun it is not same and the distance is minimum in the first week of January. So this is called perihelion position of the earth. Now in the first week of the July, when the earth is at the farthest point from the sun, this is called the aphelion position, and whenever there is a tilt of its axis of the rotation and the revolution of the earth seasons occur. This is how the elliptical and perihelion position of the earth happens. Now let's move to the next paragraph. As the earth revolves around the sun, the equator receives perpendicular rays on 2 days in a year. This condition occurs on 21st March and 23rd September. On these days, both the poles are at the same distance from the sun. This is called equinox. Now they have given the figure 8.3 equinox days. Now these are the sun rays. This is the sun they have given. These are the rays falling on this. This is the equator, Tropic of Cancer, Arctic Circle, Tropic of Capricorn and Antarctic Circle. This is the earth. Okay, this is the North Pole and this is the South Pole. The illuminated and dark portion of all the parallels including the equator are shown in the figure 8.3. In the figure, the circle of illumination divides all the parallel from the North Pole to the South Pole equally. Everywhere on the earth, night time and the daytime are of equal duration. This condition is called equinox. On equinox, the sun rays are perpendicular on the equator. In this condition, the circle of illumination coincides with the great circle defined by two opposite meridians. In the northern hemisphere, spring prevails from 21st March to 21st June, while autumn prevails from 23rd September to 22nd December. The southern hemisphere has the opposite seasons during this period. In the northern hemisphere, 21st March is called spring or vernal equinox, whereas 23rd September is called autumnal equinox. The equinox or solstice days can vary by day or so. Now, over here in this paragraph, they have explained that when the earth revolves around the sun, the equator receives perpendicular rays on 2 days in a year. Now, this will be seen on 21st March and 23rd September. The poles are at the same distance on these 2 days, and this is called equinox. If you see the figure, the dark portion of all parallel and the equator. Now, on the earth, the night time and the daytime are of equal duration. So, this condition is called equinox. Now, on the equinox, the sun rays are perpendicular on the equator. In the northern hemisphere, you will see the springtime from 21st March to 21st June, and autumn comes from 23rd September to 22nd December. But the southern hemisphere experience the season in the opposite ways. In the northern hemisphere, 21st March is called spring or vernal equinox, and 23rd September is called autumnal equinox. When any one of the poles inclines the most towards the sun, 23rd degree 30 parallel of that hemisphere receives perpendicular sun rays. See figure 8.4. The sun rays are perpendicular at the equator on 22nd March and 23rd September, which are the days of the equinox. After the 22nd March, other parallel between the equator and the Tropic of Cancer in the northern hemisphere start receiving perpendicular rays sequentially. Now, only on 21st June and 22nd December, the sun rays become perpendicular on the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, respectively. These 2 days are called solstice day. Now, in the figure 8.4, they have given this. These are the sun rays falling on this. Okay, this is on 21st June and this is on 22nd December. So, the positions are different over here. This is the North Pole, this is the South Pole. Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, this is the equator. This is the 21st June. It becomes this is the perpendicular rays on the Tropic of Cancer. And this is the 22nd December. This is also becomes perpendicular on the Tropic of Cancer. This is actually the position of the earth with a tilted axis on 21st June and 22nd December. Sun rays are never perpendicular on any of the parallel between Tropic of Cancer and the North Pole, or between Tropic of Capricorn and the South Pole. 21st June is the longest day and it marks the shortest night in the northern hemisphere. Sorry. Similarly, 22nd December marks the longest day and the shortest night in the southern hemisphere. 22nd December is the shortest day in the northern hemisphere. Now over here in this paragraph, they have explained that when the poles likely to incline towards the sun 23 degree 30 parallel of the hemisphere, it receives perpendicular rays, and on 22nd March and 23rd September the sun rays are perpendicular at the equator, and the other parallel after 22nd March between the equator and Tropic of Cancer in the northern hemisphere start receiving the perpendicular rays. Now only 21st June and 22nd December the sun rays become perpendicular on the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Now on these 2 days are called solstice day, and on 21st June is the longest day and the shortest night in the northern hemisphere, and on the same way 22nd December is longest day and shortest night in the southern hemisphere. In the region from the Arctic Circle to the North Pole, the sun remains visible for 24 hours or longer. At the North Pole, the sun is visible in the sky from 22nd March to 23rd September. That is for 6 months. Similarly, situation prevails in the region between the Antarctic Circle and the South Pole in the period from 23rd September to 21st March. Note that on the equator, the duration of days and night is same throughout the year, that is 12 hours each. Seasons have been decided on the basis of the duration of the sunlight, equinoxes and solstices. The equatorial region does not experience any change of season. Hence, the climate in that region does not change at all in the year. In places beyond the equatorial region, in either hemispheres, summers or winter are experienced one after the other within a year. The occurrence of the seasons one after the other in a year leads to the cycle of the season. Generally, there are 2 seasons, summer and winter, on the earth. However, in some places, seasons are taken to be 4 in all. Now, over here in this paragraph, they have explained that the sun remains visible for 24 hours or and more in the region of Arctic Circle to the North Pole. Now, on 22nd March to 23rd March in the North Pole, the sun is visible in the sky. Now, the same situation in the Antarctic Circle in the period of 23rd September to 21st March. Seasons are as per the basis of the duration of sunlight, then equinoxes and solstices. Now, but the equatorial region have no changes of the season, so the climate of that region is same all the year. Now, there are 2 seasons there, that is summer and winter, and in some places seasons are taken to be 4 in all. The changes in the atmosphere, vapor in the air, the wind and the precipitation also influences the season. Continuous occurrence of rain in a specific period give rise to an additional season. Besides summer and winter, due to the local conditions, seasons and other than summer and winter are seen to occur in different parts. For example, rains occur in India in a specific period, therefore we consider 4 seasons such as summer, the rainy season, the period of retreating monsoon and winter. There are 4 seasons in Europe and North America too. They are summer, autumn, winter and spring. Now over here they have explained in this paragraph that seasons also occur due to the vapor in the air or in the wind and precipitation. Now because of the continuous rain it gives additional season. Now besides summer and winter, examples like in India, rain occur in a particular period. Now in India there are 4 seasons such as summer, rainy season, monsoon and winter, and there are 4 seasons in Europe and North America. Now it's summer, that is it's summer, and autumn, winter and spring. The cycle of season and the living world. If the Earth's axis were not tilted, the same climate condition would have prevailed throughout the year. The seasons would not have occurred. One and the same type of climatic condition would have prevailed on each of the different parallels. It is tilt of the axis that leads to occurrence of season, change and diversity on the earth. The living world on the earth is affected by the cycle of season. For example, in the region between 66 degree 30 parallel and 90 degree in both the hemisphere, even the mild sunlight available for a part of the year gives rise to certain flora and fauna. Now, in the Arctic region at the southernmost part of the earth, birds like penguins, fish like seals, and animals like walruses are found. In the polar region of the northern hemisphere, animals like reindeer, polar bear, Arctic foxes, etc. are found. People living in this region too have adapted to the natural condition prevailing in that region. Our adaptation to climatic condition is possible only up to a certain limit. That is why organisms prefer a certain habitat. During extreme cold climate condition, when the food supply becomes scarce, a number of birds and animals migrate temporarily. The trees bear fruit in a particular season, therefore agricultural season also depends on to the local climatic condition. Now in polar area, snow lines shift north or south according to seasons. This affects migration of birds and animals. Now over here in this paragraph they have explained that when the earth axis is not tilted, the climatic condition changes throughout the year. The season even occurs if it is tilt of the axis. Through the cycle of the season, the living world is also affected. Example, the region between 63 degree 30 parallel and 90 in the hemisphere, and when the mild sunlight is there in the part of the year, it gives rise to the flora and fauna. Birds like penguins, fish like seals, and animals like walrus are found in the Arctic region, Antarctic region. Now in the polar region you will find animals like reindeer, polar bear, Arctic foxes are found. The people living in this region they adapt the environment with the climatic condition, and when there is extreme cold climate there is always a scarcity of food supply. So because of this the animals and the birds migrate. They move from one place to another. So students, we have completed this chapter. Hope you all have understood this chapter. Bye students, take care and have a nice day.